Hi, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. This is my Asteroid Intercept, which may or may not be intercepting the asteroid anytime soon. My closest encounter is 1,000 and many kilometers away. What I'm going to do, I'm just getting back to this. I'm going to fast forward. Doop, 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 doop. Just going to check that. What I'm going to do, what I'm basically doing is I'm fast forwarding to the SOI change. Because that's when the alarm is. The theory being that when I and the asteroid are in the same kind of situation, because at the moment I'm going around Kerbin and the asteroid isn't. And so what I'm hoping to do is when we are both going around the sun, so I've left Kerbin's SOI, it's left Kerbin's SOI, everything's fine. I'll be able to get a better idea of what is going to be required to get an intercept. Now at the moment you can see that the difference between our velocities is 9,602.7 meters per second. That's quite a lot. I've only got 1,816 meters per second in the actual vessel. That's a bit of a problem. But what I am kind of hoping is that when we're in the same situation, those numbers are going to change. But I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. Now I've noticed that even though I fast forwarded to the SOI change, the SOI change moved ahead by several minutes. So we're getting into a situation where there's a lot of weirdness. Just with the distances involved, I think the game starts to break down slightly. So I don't want to actually. Oh, I was about to say I don't want to fast forward to the SOI change, but I guess that happened anyway. Well, no, the SOI change has just moved ahead again. So okay, that's weird. Warp to there. Let's not warp anymore. Right, okay, so got an intersect in 3 hours of a 1,700 kilometer distance. And you notice that the target speed, now that we're both not, neither of us are we're both orbiting the sun, so our situation is the same. So now the difference between our velocities is very different. Now the one thing what I would like to be able to do obviously is create a maneuver that is going to improve that intercept. I don't know if that's possible. What does that do? $16.84. So that's taking distance away. 16.59. Slightly aggravating. You can't just click on that, say, and have that information remain up. I've got to make the adjustment. Oh no, I thought I had it there. Yeah, you got to make the adjustment, then go back and see what happened. 1650. I think let's go back up again. 1642. I mean, but there's also an issue that actually I think things get very inaccurate because of the distances involved. I wonder if I might not be better just getting closer to that intercept for trying anything. 1620, what was it before? 1633, so that's improving things. 1607. And I'm also, you know, when you get these things that are so delicate, when I make a little change and then suddenly the whole intercept disappears, I do wonder if it's actually, if it is actually disappearing. Well, that's come back up. Let's come back up. That's 1569. And then it goes to 1611. So not sure if any of this is actually helping. I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to point towards the maneuver node just to see what it looks like and where it is relative to the nav ball, and where it is relative to the target indicator and stuff like that. And the answer is it's quite far away from the target indicator. Oh no, there is the target indicator there. I think I'm just going to get closer and see what happens. Let's point towards the targets. Because although I'm 1,700 kilometers out, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to start as I get closer anyway. Even at this distance, normally you don't try this kind of thing unless you're within a few kilometers of it, of your target. But the standard, point towards delta V, cut your distance, cut your relative velocity, go towards, that kind of thing. I think that might still be worth doing. I'm very much in the dark here. I mean, this is this is not something I've done before, so let's try. Wait. Not making a huge noticeable difference. That's actually taking me further away. Now, when I match velocities, what I have to be aware of, that's going to get rid of the intercept, which is actually reasonable. That makes a certain amount of sense. Because when I'm doing that, what I'm saying is I'm not going to ever get any closer to the target. I'm as close as I'm ever going to get because I've matched velocities, and then I want to start moving towards, I think. So let's point retrograde. Yeah, I just don't know what I'm doing here. But I think if I kill my velocity at this stage, and then so at this point, even though I'm over 1,000 kilometers away, I think I start doing the standard intercept thing. And see what happens. So bring my relative target velocity to 0, and I've lost my intercept, but that's okay, because the whole point of zeroing out my velocity is I'm now going at the same speed and direction as it, with that separation. Of course, the big problem is if burning up delta V here, that means I've got less delta V when I get there to do anything. So I'm now getting some intercepts over there, but I don't think they mean anything. So just getting rid of the last few meters a second. Okay. Now, interestingly, I think I know why this happens, but the game gets rid of the option to point towards the target. I think that is because at these very low velocities relative to each other, you can flip over, as in going towards the target suddenly becomes going away from the target. And I think people have been having trouble where, especially when they're trying to land, for example, and you've targeted an object on the ground or something, or you're trying to, point retrograde to kill your velocity as you're landing, and then suddenly you go the other way, and so now you're going up instead of down, and so you're pointing retrograde suddenly means you flip the whole craft, and then you start powering your way, and you're going to smash into the ground, and that's kind of unfortunate. So it looks like at some point that's been changed. Whenever the velocity is very, very low, you lose the ability to just lock on a target. Right, so there we go. We are now heading towards the target. so if I go to 100 meters a second towards the target, I thought I was going to get something useful, but apparently not. Well, let's go up to 300. Okay, that's not helpful. Right, so I'm getting closer, but I may have to wait until we're both encountering Kerbin again, so I get a better idea of how we're doing. Because in 10 minutes I'm going to be encountering Kerbin. In 40 minutes it's going to be encountering Kerbin. And then we'll be back in the same orbit again. So this here may be utterly meaningless. So let's go to the next. Next encounter. So the interesting thing is giving me an intercept here and saying the separation is 36,000 kilometers. I'm already closer than that. So I presume that I'm just kind of going to go away and go back in again. But I think life is going to be a lot easier if we're both around Kerbin. How far away is the SOI? Right, we'll wait for the SOI change. I won't fast forward through this. And it's going to give me this crazy orbit, and my target speed should go up massively, which it has. So if I'll now wait for 32, so I'm going to just add a general alarm in 32 minutes. Fast forward. At which point we should both be in the same situation. And I should be able to get a better idea of what, if anything, I need to do to get closer. All right. So according to this, I'm moving towards, but I'm not getting any better closer encounters. So I don't really quite know what's happening. What's my distance? Well, let's just... Alright, okay, we're getting there, we're getting closer. Okay, I think I'm just going to have to ignore the whole indicator thing. I don't think that's helping me. Actually, let's just use that. I don't have to mouse over that. I can just look at it. So when those two things become very widely separated, that's when I'm going to be at my closest approach. So I'm less than I'm just about to go less than 200 kilometers away. This is going not too bad, actually. Still not sure what I'm going to do when I get there. Right, so I'm slowing down the time warp a little bit. Under 100 kilometers. Actually, let's point not point retrograde. I want to point retrograde. So I'm getting some indicator markers, but I don't think they mean anything. $81,000 meters, so 81 kilometers. I'm going to put RCS on. I don't want to burn too much of it just yet, because I'm assuming I'm going to want some of it for when I'm docking. I've got a fair amount, but I've you know, it is fine. So I'm getting close to I should really burn now. Can I see it? I should be pointing a bit away, and then it might be so far that it's just not going to show up. Right, let's go now, I think. No, that's still quite. When that starts, when the distance change starts to slow down, that's when I really need to go. Should be able to see it at 70 odd kilometers. I'm just trying to work out where it would be in the sky. Right, going now. Wasn't very useful. Seeing if I can blow the prograde, the retrograde marker onto onto the target marker. I don't need to do that from this view. I can do it from this view just as easily. Now the thing is, delta V, because that cost me 300 to speed up and 300 to slow down. And obviously, you know, I don't have that much left to do, so right, that's about as good as I can get, I think. So let's go towards it. And the asteroid is just over there! It's 200 meters away. Wait. You'll notice that I actually have a slightly more delta V than you may have seen last time, if you remember. This is because I actually had to revert to a quick save because I time warped in a stupid way. I'm exceedingly annoyed with myself because basically I was getting on okay, and then instead of now I need to come down out of time warp, I hit the go time warp even more button, which meant that I was suddenly whoosh far away. So I've had another go, and by keeping the kind of amount of basically instead of going 300 meters a second towards it and then stopping, and then going 300 meters a second towards it and then stopping, I was only going 100 meters a second and then doing lots of time warps, only being much more careful and doing a quick save before every single time warp. I'm just going to do a quick save now, in fact. Hopefully I'm not going to need it, but never mind, I'm doing it anyway. So I started doing that a lot. Well, not that. I mean, basically, it meant that it took longer to get there, but I've got days and days and days and days before I even need to start worrying about whether or not I'm going to go to Eve and what I'm going. Oh, I can see it! So let's slow down. Right. Wow, I might be able to do it with this ship, because I've got quite a lot of delta V left. Admittedly, I don't know how much I'm going to have left. Right, let's arm that. Come on, arm. Once I actually get in contact with the thing, I have no idea what I'm going to end up with. Right, RCS is on. So what I want to do. There we go. So that I'm now quite reasonably lined up with the center of mass. I can slow down. Oh, I'm gonna do it! Sorry. Yes, I'm reasonably confident in success at this moment. Okay. I'll adjust if I grab the thing, which I'm going to. Let's just slow down a little bit. Yes! We have got it! This asteroid fits Ionic, what's his name? So, okay. So now what I do is I free the pivot. And try and get... Okay, so I'm just going to try something. By jetting away from it, you know, it's doing that. But if I jet away from it, it'll pull it away. So I will be pointing pretty much exactly through the center of mass. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to change our... I just want to get into orbit at this point. Now my delta V is now only about 579. We'll put that on the periapsis directly, and we'll see how much. Yes! See, all I really now need to do is that, and I'll be in orbit, and that's all I need to do. Sweet! I can't believe I can't believe it. It took a long time to get it working. Like a ridiculously long time. Right, let's bring back Kerbal alarm clock back. Let's bring Kerbal alarm clock back, shall we? Right, so that maneuver is going to be within in 7 days. Now that's for amusement value. I'm gonna tell it to go towards the maneuver node. See, oh, that's not taking too long at all. And you can see I'm pointing straight at my. It's the target node is right on. It's right where I want it to be. Oh my lord! I can't believe it's so simple. Right, so we'll add in an alarm clock for that. My other Asteroid Intercept. I mean, I might as well try and get them both there. That was I can't believe it was so simple in the end. Yeah, I actually ended up overshooting, believe it or not. I actually ended up going whoosh, straight past, and then had to come by about 200 meters. Wow. I took a lot of fiddling. The main thing was to not try and do it with orbits and, you know, trying to get these things. It is literally just going back to the old standby of move towards the target, do your best to get the prograde marker on top of the target marker. Go as close as you can. Kill your velocity. Go forwards again. It's just the time scale involved was a lot larger. So there you go. Ha. So in the end, it turned out to be really, really simple. Anyway, so that is a victory. That is a victory. I'm gonna say hurrah! I won, and I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching. And please hit like and subscribe if you've been enjoying these videos. Find nearlifedice@nearlifedice.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, reach for the stars and grab yourself an asteroid.